And saving the not really best for last, we have the top 5 centers of the 2022 NBA draft that is just about to take place. And the reason why that we didn't go over this list earlier is it's just the center position has become almost deprecated in the NBA. It doesn't matter. All being Chet Holmgren, does he count? Not really. He's built like a number 2 pencil. He has no shoulders, no strength on his bones, but he's certainly tough and he tries hard in the post. So you got to give him some credit. I'm sure with that 7 foot tall, with a 7'6" wingspan, he's going to see some reps at the center spot. He's a consistent lob threat, and while he's a lob threat, he can also shoot the three-pointer at almost 40%, so he certainly deserves a little bit. Same with Paolo Banchero. He's going to be more of a traditional small ball 5 at 6'10"-ish, very thick build, 250 pounds. Dude is stout, but I qualify him more as a power forward as well. Same thing with Chet and Keegan Murray. Although he is officially a forward, took some snaps at Iowa as the center. He did the jump ball at center court at the beginning of games. He was a center at times with his crazy long wingspan at 6'11" wingspan. So what is a really center? When does it start? I'm officially going to start the list here with Jalen Duren. Now that is all the way down at number 13. I've said this before, but if this was 2001, he would be taken top 5. He's such a freakish human being. The dude is barely 18 years old and he is jacked. Just look at him. He looks like Zion Williamson on steroids. 6'11", 7'5" wingspan. He is a phenomenal specimen of a human being. If the aliens ever came and said, "Show us your most impressive human being," we would show them Jalen Duren. The dude is huge. Too bad he is a 0 on offense. He doesn't really have a post game. He tried to bully a little bit with the drop step Chet Holmgren in the finals. The March Madness. Wasn't very impressive. Other than that, he can't do much. Doesn't have a jump shot. Doesn't have a floater shot. 0% from the 3-point line. Horrible free throw shooter. He's a Dwight Howard, and that's who he is. His handle isn't great. His finishing isn't great. A lot of things that people don't remember about Shaq is that he was a special passer. Jalen Duren, not so much. He's just your prototypical freak athlete rim runner who can play solid defense at the other end. Now, he has really, really good block timing. He doesn't have a freaky vertical that you'd expect from somebody that's built like him, but he pairs his freaky wingspan with really good timing and instincts, and he makes it tough to get shots up. And while his lateral quickness leaves you wanting, he turns his hips like a cornerback well to compensate so he doesn't get blown by quicker guards. He's a good attacking rebounder, but not really a fundamental box you out positioning type of rebounder. Hopefully he can work on that on the defensive side. There were some red flags that I saw in his game. He had some foul issues, and I'm not really sure if that's a Jalen Duren thing. Not really sure it's because he's so much bigger than everybody else in the college league, and I'm not really sure if it's because the refs in college ball are absolutely fucking horrible. So that's just it's one of those kind of not red, but maybe a yellow flag to raise up and get worried about. He also gets block happy, a little Hassan Whiteside-ish as a help defender, which ends up with him jumping almost out of the play because he fell for a pump fake. And he would miss the rebound, giving the other team another possession and an easy putback just because he wanted to block the ball. But at the end of the day, Jalen Duren is your prototypical freaky, athletic, big, 6'11", 250 pounds. He's jacked. He's young, and hopefully he's not going to get hurt as he progresses into the next level. And right behind him is Mark Williams, a little bit taller, 7 feet tall with a 7'6" wingspan, only 240 pounds. He's also a little bit lighter, but he's really that same tier player that Jalen Duren is as well. He's the best generic rim running center. He measured really well, 7'2" in shoes at the combine. He can rim protect. He's a mean shot blocker, has a crazy wingspan, has a really good vertical. He can bang with other centers. He does need to add a little bit of muscle, but he was a really great putback machine for Duke. Anytime they miss the ball, he would be right there to put it back, slam it down, do whatever. He doesn't have great foot speed as well, but he plays angles really well on smaller guards. He's a high energy guy, very active screen setter, not an elite rebounder. We saw him go head to head with Oscar Tshiebwe, who is a good rebounder, and he just got kind of beat out by effort, but he certainly has the size to be, I guess, league average as a rebounder at best. He has 0 offense, just like Jalen Duren, outside of putbacks and the occasional ugly jump hook. He's not going to give you anything on the offensive end. Not the best feet, but his basketball IQ makes up for it. And he's just a classic big man. He has bricks for hands. He's going to get the job done and not much more. I think he's got great value here, right behind Jalen Duren as center number 2 off the board. And hopefully he goes to the Charlotte Hornets, who need a center. As for who's the number 3 center, this is kind of where the conversation gets interesting. And I personally have Christian Koloko. I'm a huge fan of his game out of Arizona. I really liked what he was doing on the offensive glass, on the defensive glass, defensively, out there when they were trying to make their championship run with Ben Mathurin. Now, same thing as the other 2 centers, 0 offense whatsoever. His three-pointer, 0. But his free throw shot actually looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it's just his free throw shot and if it's going to translate to the next level. Likely it won't. But he does this thing where he gets the ball already in the motion that he needs it to. His wrist and elbows are aligned, and then he just bends his knees and makes the shot in almost a two-part motion. And it works for him. 73% for a center in the NBA isn't that bad. He's a decent athlete, but he has a really long wingspan, a good, long, skinny build that's going to last through the grind of the regular season, and he has some decent strength on him besides how skinny he is. He has some post game. It's not a complete F, but it's probably like a D. But he is a menacing post defender. He's not horrible if you have to switch him out to the perimeter as well. All in all, Christian Koloko is that next tier down, but still a really good rim runner that you're going to find late in the first round in a lot of these drafts. And unlike a lot of the guys that come out, he's not 6'8". He's a legit 7 foot, if not at the very least 6'10", 6'11", with a great wingspan. Really tough kid, really fun, really emotional guy, and I've been routinely mocking him in the first round because I love his ability to play vertical. I'm not really sure why he falls into the second round with a lot of the mock drafts that I'm seeing, but Christian Koloko, great athlete, should definitely be the center 3 off of the board. Moving on to the 4th center, and that's going to be Walker Kessler. Now, some of these NBA scouts have this kind of love affair with him. I don't really know why. They watched a lot of Aubrey games with Jabari Parker, and I saw one mock draft, I forget if it was ESPN or Bleacher Report, said they want the Timberwolves to draft Walker Kessler, play him at the 5, and play Karl Towns at the 4. I don't know what's wrong with these people. As for Walker Kessler, there's a few minor injury red flags. He kind of got knick-knacked a little bit at Auburn. He did have a small knee injury last season, and those are always red flags when you're grading guys that are huge 7-footers. But the thing about Walker Kessler is he's horrible on offense. Just get that out of the way with every single center. 20% from 3 is horrible. He has no touch around the rim. He's an awful free throw shooter, awful finisher. I see all these posts in the mock drafts. Oh, he's a big man with a nice touch. No, his touch sucks. It's terrible. He has no touch around the rim. He can't shoot. He's going to be a 0 on offense as well. But he's got really good foot speed and agility for a guy his size. I was so surprised watching his games. He doesn't turn his hips like Jalen Duren. He doesn't have to play angles like Mark Williams does. Walker Kessler has legit foot speed for a big. It's bizarre to watch. He's super nimble. And this is coming from a guy who's a legit 7 foot, 7'1". And he's a big kid too at 245, about 250 pounds. It was honestly mind-blowing to watch. And I don't really know what else to say about that. Other than that, though, he's just not really good. Offensively, it's not great. Verticality isn't really there. He's not a great athlete. He's just kind of a decent big man who's not going to get embarrassed in the perimeter. And I guess that's good enough to be a late first round center 4 off the board. At this point, though, there's not a lot of good centers left, and the guys behind him aren't that good. And as for the center 5 position, I couldn't really find a good one. I watched Ismaël Kamagate out of France. I guess he's the next best thing. There's a lot of busts here. Yannick Nazosa. I see Jalen Williams here, but he qualifies more as a power forward than a center. From Travion Williams is a power forward. Kofi Coburn just isn't really going to translate to the next level. Khalifa Diop wasn't impressive as well. Kai Soto, I mean, everybody talks about him, but he's more of an eh. All in all, though, there's not really a center 5, so I just went with Ismaël Kamagate. He is the highest potential, I guess. He's 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, super skinny. Classic rim runner, 0 offense as well. He's tall, so maybe if there's something in this game, maybe if he really works at it, he learns how to develop, he can be somewhat decent of a backup center. But at the end of the day, he just seems like another one of those international busts that you didn't hear about until the draft process started. He's got really poor basketball IQ. He lacks touch. He's just a tall dude. JaVale McGee kind of runs around, is able to block shots if it gets near him. We'll throw down the lob. Don't expect too much for him. Other than that, he's just going to be a classic backup rim running big. But that is the unimpressive top 5 centers of the 2022 NBA draft. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and I'll catch you in the next one.